Hey guys, welcome back to another live stream. I believe this is the 29th episode with Persona 5 Strikers. And where are we at? Well, we're at the last part of Sapporo jail. So, all we have left to do at this point is to send out the calling card and, head to the last part of this dungeon. So what we're gonna do before we actually do that is we're gonna make sure that we stock up on some of our, HP and SP recovery items. And as you can see, a lot of these are sold out because of the fact that we bought a bunch during probably the last episode while we were finishing up a lot of the requests. And so with that being said, I'm just going to quickly cycle through some of these maps in Sapporo to make sure that that is the case, that we're not really leaving anything that can otherwise be bought. So, and that includes this pharmacy right here, which has pretty good restorative items. But again, we here were clearly sold out. And so let's head right back to Odori Park. And I don't know, hopefully see if Sophie has anything for us. Otherwise, I guess we can just move on to sending the calling card. Yeah, so, a lot of these are on hold. So, not sure what else we can buy. Even the ingredients, they haven't been brought back. So I guess I must have done this at the end of the episode during the last stream. So next thing we can do is, before heading into the dungeon, let's make sure that we have the right people in place for for the upcoming fight. I do want to make sure that I have Haru on deck, and that's kind of an obvious no-brainer here because, with each boss that we fight in Persona 5 Strikers, a lot of these Phantom Thieves become attached to these monarchs, and so usually the person that's attached at that specific act, per se, is the one that, is going to contribute to their weakness. So I'm willing to bet that psychokinetic skills are going to be Mariko's weakness, or at least among one of her weaknesses. And so I'm going to stick with Ryuji as well. We do need that, buff from him. And let's see, I think Morgana has a big role to play here as well, just because of the fact that, Mona is very good when it comes to HP restoration, and among other things. Sophia is pretty good too, but I'm not sure if bless skills are really going to be a factor here for this next fight. And so with that being said, next thing is we need to head over to the Velvet Room as well. So, I'm pretty sure during the last stream, I went ahead and kind of enhanced whichever persona I could enhance. But, for the purposes of this fight, obviously we need to, number one, focus on someone that maybe has psi skills. So this guy right here, right? Legion is clearly one. This is another one, Kaiwan. But seeing that Legion is actually at a higher level, we can focus on that guy first. Or at least, have a preference to Legion. How much power will you add? This is what you've chosen. So 3 is about all we can do. At max. Rampage is not really going to help. I mean, I tend to stay away from all these HP usages as far as the skill set goes. I'd rather burn SP rather than HP if I had the option to. And of course, I would normally power up our Sen. But again, we don't really have any psychokinetic skills. So I think we're okay otherwise. Time to head back. And then now we'll jump straight into Sapporo jail. Actually, did I make Haru my... Yes, I did. One of my mains. So we have Ryuji and Morgana, Haru, Joker, and of course Futaba for backup support. So I think we're looking okay. Let's go ahead and send the calling card. And of course, at this point, you would make sure you've finished all the requests before moving forward, which we have. So we have a bit of a characterization here at play. Oh, obviously she's right behind the van, right? Or at least near the van? No? What on earth am I doing? Okay.
I'm sorry to call you out so late. I wanted to talk to you about Mari-san. It's strange how I couldn't remember Mari-san until now. Even when Hasagawa-san said her name, it didn't quite occur to me who she was. But the moment she called me Haru-chan, suddenly, it felt like a lid popped open in my mind, and my memories came pouring out. I remembered all these things about my childhood. About how could I forget someone I loved so much? I think what happened with my father affected me more than I realized. All the times we spent together, and the moment he passed away, I must have... At some point, I got used to hiding things away, and I even forgot a good friend like Mari-san. No, I feel like I was running from it all over again. A long time ago, I remember tagging along with Mari-san and my father during a golfing trip. I was so happy running around that I ended up tripping and falling. And of course I started crying. Then all of a sudden, Mari-san came up to me and said, "Stop crying and get back up." And that shocked me at first because I always thought of her as an extremely gentle person. But because I knew she was so kind, I managed to stop crying and eventually got back up. I remember thinking Mari-san would never say anything out of place. I trusted her completely. At that point, Mari-san hugged me and said, "No matter how many times you fall, you can always get back up and start again. Never forget that." I didn't quite understand back then, but there's more to good character than kindness. Being good means dealing with the bad in front of you. It means to take a stand, even when all you want to do is run away. To realize nothing will change if you keep ignoring reality. It's too late to save my father. But it's not too late for Mari-san. This time, I can change things around. I want to tell her exactly what she told me all those years ago. Yes. Thanks for hearing me out. Tomorrow, I'm going to do my absolute best. But for now, good night.
I mean, Haru's a pretty soft-spoken character, but still pretty good.
Hey.
characterization.
Why is Haru so upset over Mariko Kyoto? I don't have a heart, so it's hard to understand. Why do people try so hard for others? I wonder if I'll ever know. Okay, I'll believe you. It may seem like a simple concept to you, but to me, it makes my mind go. But I am humanity's companion. I am here to learn and grow.
Bond skills. Alright, so moving on to August 12th.
Good day, everyone. Are we ready to make Sapporo a paradise's purest snow? Then remember, on election day, please vote Mariko Kyoto.
What is that? A calling card?
Whoa, it's real.
What's going on?
And time for their breakdown, as usual.
Mariko Kyoto, the false empress with a frozen heart. You are a cold manipulator who treats people as tools to be discarded. We find this unforgivable and will end your reign of abuse. In fact, we will take back the desires you stole this very night. This is... The Phantom Thieves? And they say they're going to steal my desires? What a bald-faced lie! Those desires are mine and mine alone! As long as I'm the monarch, I won't let anyone stop me!
Is that really her shadowless version? Like, she looks super huge.
I was just beginning to work up an appetite. I wonder what you'll taste like. Perhaps I should gobble you up and find out.
She looks kind of like Ursula from, you know, The Little Mermaid. Just saying.
Why are you standing there? Take these wretched things down!
Wait for us, Mari-san. It'll all be over soon.
Alright, so hopefully we don't have to get through hordes of shadows
We need to change Mari-san's heart.
to reach Mariko.
Time for some infiltration.
There goes the chain. To the castle.
Oh, this is...
The Cage of Gluttony. Makes sense concerning her size.
Sorry about the wait. We're here to kick ass and... What?
Yeah, she's a total gluttony. Or glutton.
Silence, you whelp!
Who the hell is she?
That couldn't be... Mari-san? What on earth happened to her? I'm guessing this is Hyodo's distorted form.
What do you people want? You had best... best not get in my way! Oh, I'm almost there. Only a few more votes and I'll win re-election!
This is wrong, Mari-san. Those votes you gathered by twisting the people's hearts are worthless.
And if you don't stop your tyranny, your staff will collapse one by one. I get why it's hard for you to trust people, but you still have to treat them with decency.
Ah! You shut your impudent mouths! I've done nothing wrong! I will wring out
take away someone's desire, you rob them of their agency, the ability to make their own decisions. So what good does it do to turn your loyal citizens into mindless drones? Isn't it better to let them arrive at their own conclusions? To follow—
How dare you lecture me?
Good job, Muir. You tell her. Mari-san, say goodbye to the countless desires you stole. Because Beauty Thief and the Phantom Thieves are about to take them back.
Honestly,
Alright, let's do this.
they're all in my way. Ah. This is the last straw. Ah. Ah. You've made me so very hungry. It's dinner time, and the main course is you.
Goodness gracious. Yeah, I did not expect this type of form.
You're doing is wrong, so we'll be taking those desires back.
Shut your prissy little mouth! What would you know? I will consume all who oppose me, no matter who they are! I'll gobble you up!
Whoa, what's with all the food?
Alright, so first of all, yeah, obviously, she's clearly weak to psychokinetic skills. But before we get into it, let's go ahead and focus on the buffs. We do want to focus on Joker and Haru first, because they're going to be our main damage dealers, right? And of course, it looks like there's something up here that you can kind of exploit as well. So let's go ahead and kind of rain down some of these techniques. Although it's going to take up a lot of SP here. We've already started taking a few hits. Let's kind of get behind her, start doing some stuff here. Inflicted with free. Oh, okay. Joker is clearly about to get wrecked. So we can't do much about the freeze here. Just gonna have to tank that, but we can certainly restore some HP. I mean, Ryuji doesn't look like he's in the best shape either. Let's hope this fight is not insane. Let's see what we can do with this chandelier. That did some critical damage right there. Switch to Haru, focus on the CEO skills. And of course, it's nice to be able to do these combinations as much as possible. But unfortunately, we're running out of SP here. And we only have 2 users who are, you know, Sayo users. So, I mean, hopefully it's not too bad. Yeah, I don't know how we can dodge some of these ice moves. I mean, is she weak to anything else outside of Sayo skills? Oh, okay, so she's also weak to curse. But again, it's up to Joker, right? So you can't really spam a lot of these So if it's technical, I wonder if you can use, no you can't. And there's an all-out attack, which is which should help a little bit. But again, she still has a good bit of HP here. We're not even halfway yet, technically. And here we are. We've ran out of SP for Haru. So let's see if we can utilize Joker for the time being. Not sure if using this is too early, but we don't have a lot of options. We still have another frozen chandelier that we can exploit. Ooh, that must have hurt. So let's go ahead and give Joker some healing. And looks like he snapped out of it. So a lot of times not doing the baton passes at the right moment can hurt you. So that right there was definitely, that worked, obviously. And I'm still working on buffing, right? And got a debuff as well when the time comes and the going gets tough. Okay, I don't know what she's up to right now, but she's kind of glowing. We should probably stay away and maybe do stuff like this to cancel out the move. Hopefully. So she clearly just got a little crazier. I think now's a good time to kind of utilize those SP items, assuming I have any. Okay, so just a few, but clearly we need to focus on Haru. Maybe another one as well as Joker, because again, these are our main damage dealing Phantom Thieves for this fight. Hopefully, I'm timing this right. So we're about to get hit with an ice skill. Let's see if this will cancel it out. If I just kind of right there, you go. Oops. So my strategy is to continue using these skills that are her weaknesses to kind of, cast all these interrupts and keep the pressure. So that was a pretty good baton pass right there. In reference to what I was referring to earlier, where sometimes if it doesn't work, you're not going to do combinations of these moves. But what just happened is, it's like that that thing that happened on the map earlier where you become super slow, you can't see much because of all this icy haze. So I'm not sure what this means. I mean, she still has a good bit of HP, at least 25%. And if I'm wrong, it's like she's getting even stronger by the minute. So let's kind of keep our HP up for everyone. And let's see. Head back to Ryuji. Continue the buffing. Hopefully I don't get hit with the next attack. Okay, it's showtime. That's the best time. Yeah, that didn't do much. I'm not surprised considering this is like, you know, a major boss. So let's see what else we can do. Well, let's kind of hit her with these psychokinetic skills. I'm not sure if that did anything, honestly. Mona going crazy. Yeah, it's like everyone's super slow. I'm not sure what else we can do once this, you know, icy haze comes up. Okay, so that was pretty good. And of course now we're out of SP yet again, and we get another showtime. This is pretty great. That's a lifesaver. But again, you know, it's not really doing much. Like her defense is pretty insane. And based off of the actions that I can do, as you can see, it's like we're very slow. I'm not sure if we can activate anything here. Oh my gosh. As Joker gets down to 1 HP. So let's calm it down a little bit. I mean, there seems to be something out here. What is this? He's very slow in getting to it. Oh, it's a heater. I didn't realize that before. That was very interesting. I have no idea where that even came from. Let's use this thing. If it does anything. Oh wow, okay. What is going on? Drop that chandelier on her. Interesting. I mean, where is the chandelier? Did I exhaust all my chandeliers? Oh my gosh, everyone's getting wrecked right now. What is going on? Okay. Let's go ahead and revive people that are down. Including Joker himself. So let's take a minute to think here. I don't see any more chandeliers that we can exploit. Okay? And Haru seems to be on her last dying breath as well. So we're gonna have to cure her, but actually instead of using my items, let me see if I can use something like this, but of course Mona does not have enough SP. Let's try this. No go. So okay, so I can't use that for some odd reason. Interesting.
Sorry. Mona's retreated. Can someone heal him?
You're mine. This one.
Thanks.
So this is like the worst kind of situation where you're basically about to win, but it's like neck and neck all of a sudden. So I still don't understand why I cannot heal Haru. Very interesting. But I can heal Ryuji. Oh, I suppose it's because Haru is inside Mariko's stomach. Go figure. Well, I guess spamming... Oh my gosh. Spamming some of these attacks is just about all we can do. I guess this is where, you know, a good collection of these restorative items comes into play. Let's see. Switch to Joker. Spam a few curse spells, right? And let's see if that finishes it. Alright, we need to do showtime, but let's go. Just in time. Alright, so show's done. Show's over. I feel like that was a sloppy fight. Could have been better if I had known that, you know, using those chandeliers would have had that type of impact on the fight. So if anyone plays it up to this point, I do recommend holding out on that last chandelier.
I need to wipe out all of Sapporo's injustice.
Please stop. Haven't you done enough?
What?
You're a kind person, Mari-san, and I know you've tried to shoulder all of this alone. The staff member who took bribes, the councilman who tried to set you up, even the girl who died in the accident. Each of these things grieved you, and in order to make a city where none of it could reoccur, you took action as you saw fit. Am I right?
As the mayor, I know very well that little girl's death was ultimately my fault. But my staff betrayed me, all for their insatiable greed. I thought I could leave that awful position behind. Unfortunately, it wasn't as simple as that. Had I gone, I'd only be replaced by greedy scum. That's why I never stepped down. In this world, it's either eat or be eaten. And with circumstances so cruel, I decided I'd be the one doing the eating. Even if every last one of my votes were false, at least I could use them to make the world a better place. But if I was replaced as mayor, who would be there to honor that little girl's memory? An innocent girl lost her life, yet I could do nothing to stop the evil still afoot.
It's not too late to set this right. First, you must tell the people everything that happened. Then can you get a fresh start, but this time on your own strength.
That would be impossible. I cooperated with those awful men to hide the truth. That way I could continue being mayor. There's nothing I can do.
Stand up, Mariko Hyodo! Are you just going to stay knocked down? You are a kind and strong woman, not someone who collapses over mistakes. So stand up and hold your head up high, because no matter how many times you fall, you can always get back up and start again.
Isn't that...
Yes, you said that to me a long time ago. Even if you told the people the truth about the incident, there are those who would still see the good in you. Don't let your position ruin you. Think back to what you stood for.
She's right, Mayor. You can't give up.
If you tell everyone your side of things, they'll listen.
When my father died, I felt like my heart was going to break. But thanks to the Phantom Thieves, I was able to stand strong and move forward. That's why I know you can too. Remember the part of you that taught me to get back up, no matter how...
Yes. You're right. Thank you, Haruchan. What I've done was wrong. I drove my employees to the brink and used a strange power to manipulate the votes. I was so driven by my personal agenda, I lost sight of how I originally felt. And why I ran for mayor in the first place. To make a city beloved by everyone.
home where I was raised. That's reason enough to take another step. I won't make this mistake again. I never needed this power from the start. Haru-chan, you've grown so much. Your father must be so happy in heaven.
So I feel like Mariko as a monarch is not as crazy as the last two from what we've seen before from a morality perspective. But I know that's a subjective way of saying it. A lot of people would probably feel differently. But I feel like the first two monarchs so far were kind of straight up evil, I think. And this one is like, she kind of got led astray. She took responsibility for something that was not her fault. And of course, she is where she is. But that's just me, maybe.
Mari-san. Happy?
This place is collapsing! Let's go!
And with that, we have 3 monarchs down. So, moving forward.
That took us quite a while.
And there goes a trophy being unlocked.
Haru, you were fantastic. It was only because you were all with me. But I do wonder if Mari-san will be okay.
I'd say so. Her shadow disappeared like they always do.
Yeah, your feelings definitely reached her. I'm sure her heart has changed for the better. Well, I guess this wraps up the mission. We still need to confirm that the citizens are all back to normal. It'd be nice if we could do that right away.
Can we grab something to eat first? I'm hungry enough to pass out here.
He has a point. Battles can't be fought on an empty stomach.
The battle's already over, but still.
Hey, can we try Genghis Khan? That delicious lamb barbecue dish?
Ooh, that's a must in Hokkaido.
What? I thought we were finally getting lobster hot pot.
Since when did we decide that? Why would we when it's so damn
They're all gluttons at the end of the day, but they all have different tastes in food.
But if you think about it, isn't Genghis Khan also sort of like hot pot? No way! Isn't it supposed to be barbecue?
Well, cooking Genghis Khan does require a utensil called a Genghis Khan pot. And you can't barbecue in a pot.
Ah, I figured as much. Then to lobster hot pot we go.
Why? What even is this conversation?
Hey, was that a smile just now? Yeah, straight from Sapporo. It's Beauty Thief's award-winning smile.
I'm relieved too. I thought you might be weighed down by all that's happened.
Indeed. She was so weighed down that she met up with our leader for a private midnight chat.
Huh? Were you watching?
Pretty good stuff. Increases ammo count. Interesting.
Sophia, find us the best Genghis Khan in Sapporo. Sophia?
Sorry. Okay, I've got it.
What was that, Sophia? So moving on to August the 13th. Hopefully. Towards the next monarch. Oh, right. She has to have that breakdown, right?
Well, everyone seems pretty normal to me.
Their fanatical support for Mariko Kyoto appears to have died down.
I'm glad they're back to their senses. What a drastic change. Just goes to show how powerful a monarch's influence can be.
Hey, guess what? Kyoto-san's holding a press conference right now.
Thank you all for taking your time to gather here today. Actually, there's something I've been meaning to share with everyone. As of today, I will be resigning from office. I do not intend to seek re-election either.
I mean, they all have to quit doing what they do at that point, right?
I've betrayed all of your trust. You may think of me as a mayor who's earned your trust, but in truth, there's plenty that I'm ashamed of. The snow sculpture that collapsed was built by an unscrupulous company that bribed one of my staff. In spite of my responsibility, I neglected to see the finer details and went ahead with the construction. As a result, the sculpture ended up collapsing, and a girl's precious life was lost. Furthermore, I elected to cover up the truth, all so I could save my position. I've been garnering votes I didn't deserve in order to stay on as mayor. I betrayed everyone to protect myself, and covered it up by allowing more wrongdoing. I am among the guilty. That little girl, she died because of me. As such, I will have the police reinvestigate the case and offer my full assistance. And again, I will drop out of the election and forfeit my position as mayor.
I mean, it's crazy how honestly humble they become after all this process.
Seems that Hyoto-san's made up her mind. I wonder if she'll be arrested. Good question. Oh, Hyoto was afraid that if she wasn't the mayor, she couldn't protect her people.
She could have told the truth and made her underling take the blame. But she was concerned about other evils potentially lurking in the shadows.
I think this turned out for the best. Mari-san wouldn't have wanted to hide her mistake forever.
Zenkichi is on the line.
Hey, you guys see Hyoto's press conference? Yep, you all did a bang-up job. Really, can't thank you enough. They plan on bringing Kyoto in as a key witness regarding the accident. I knew you'd want to analyze her phone, too, so I pulled a few strings, and now I'm her personal chauffeur. At least as far as the station. If you want, I can open up some time for you to talk to her. Just tell me where you want to meet.
How convenient.
How could you ever forgive me, Kaho-chan?
Mari-san.
Haru-chan. Listen, there was something wrong with me. It's like I was in a terrible dream. I don't know when it was that my heart grew so cold. But after what you told me, I remembered who I really was inside. When I became mayor, I wanted to protect the city and everyone in it as if they were my own family. I remembered that feeling. Thanks to you, I've finally been able to confront myself. And I realized that I was doing a horrible disservice to that girl. I had lost sight of reality and begun acting self-righteous. Nothing I did was for her sake.
But Mari-san, you were doing the best you could.
No, it's the truth. Had I not realized my mistake, I would have likely continued to hurt even more people. That's not what Kaho-chan would want. So let me say, thank you, Haru-chan. Thank you for saving this city, for saving my family.
Mari-san!
Your father's recent passing must have caused you so much turmoil. I'm sorry I added to it. But if there's anything I can do for you in the future, any way I can be there, just ask me. I say this because you're a precious...
I like how Mona's just chillaxing in the backpack.
Thank you so much, Mari-san.
Oh, Haru-chan!
I'm happy for you, Haru.
Here's where Sophia asks questions.
I
No.
must get going. Though I am concerned about the state of affairs I've left our city in. I'll leave it up to my successor. An arrogant wretch like me has no place being the mayor.
Does that mean you won't be involved in politics anymore?
Yes, I'm too ashamed to show my face in public. And at my age, there are plenty of younger folks who can...
Mayor. I saw the news. So you're resigning. And you...
That's right. I've promised to step down and never...
You can't be serious! Resigning won't bring her back. In fact, it won't change a thing. Carl.
Yeah, I figured that was her mom.
To my daughter.
Hey, shouldn't we get in there?
Hold that thought a moment.
So you can't. You can't just run away. You need to start over. Become our mayor again.
What?
When I was weeping with rage and grief, you stood there and cried with me. Instead of running away, you were there when I needed someone the most. I know your character more than anyone.
Ma'am, thank you for sharing your heart with me. Then I promise to both you and your daughter, I will stand back up and become your mayor again.
Marisa. I don't get it.
There's a question from Sophia.
Everyone is crying.
There's that AI trying to learn what's going on in the real world.
And how would you describe this? I see. So that's why Haru helped Kyoto transform sadness into happiness, recording valuable data. Sophia has learned happiness.
That must have been the mom of the girl who passed away.
No, it seems like she really understood Hyodo's intentions.
I'm so happy for you, Mari-san.
She reminded me of what Haru said in jail.
Stand up, Mariko Kyoto! Like that? Hey, that was a tender moment. There's no need to reenact.
Tender moment, she says.
Yeah, but you played it so cool back there. It really touched my heart.
Could you
Just to mess with her a little bit.
Indeed, truly moving.
You did good.
It really was touching.
I guess this was one of the reasons why I decided to play Persona 5 Strikers, just to get that Persona 5 feel back. Because honestly, the gameplay doesn't matter as much. The story, like, who cares? Just to see the Phantom Thieves strike back. Sightseeing. Okay, so what can we do? Well, first of all, let's look at our bond skills. We do have 9 points that are now, made available to us again. A lot of these that I've been meaning to use, they're still locked, and so we cannot really utilize any of that. This was one that just unlocked recently. Increases ammo count. I mean, sure, why not? A lot of times it can help, especially with enemies like, Mothman, where gun damage is absolutely critical to the fight. And of course, ammo is always something that's scarce a lot of times. And we have 4 points that are still available. Wow, it's more difficult chests to be picked open. I mean, that's also a good one. Maybe some of the upcoming dungeons. This is also pretty good, considering the fact that we have not encountered a single treasure demon after the first one. So maybe, sure, why not? Let's do that. So, that'll help increase the appearance rate. And this is also a good time to see if, I doubt there's no new requests that we can do. A good time is any to save. And then after that, let's just see what else we can do with Sapporo before moving on to, you know, the next city. I mean, during this time, I usually focus on talking to a lot of the Phantom Thieves that might be wandering around the city.
What are you gonna do?
Okay, so we're riding on a Ferris wheel. And of course, this is probably one of those things where you get to hang out with the Phantom Thieves, which happens every other city. Yeah, it cannot be a date, right? She's pretty young.
Well. Yep.
So obviously another way you can increase your bond skills.
So
Right.
I went to talk to Hyodo, but nothing new came out of it. All she explained is that she could control whoever added her as a friend on Emma. Come on, don't give me that look. Here, I at least got her smartphone.
Now that's what I want to see. After reviewing the facts, I've just about confirmed it. Each of these so-called incidents, I think they all stemmed from a mastermind.
Oh? I'm curious as to why you think so.
Kyoto, Natsume, Alice, all three were changing people's hearts to do bad things. But deep down, none of them were truly evil. At the very least, they're not the same as the rulers who distorted reality for their own sakes and ended up spawning palaces.
I'd been considering that as well. Before Natsume lost sight of his writing, he was diligently working toward his dreams.
Alice, too. She was doing her very best to be a ray of light and hope for other people.
Yeah, so it's like someone transformed them and kind of exploited their weaknesses to control these desires.
Mari-san was also striving for the betterment of everyone in Sapporo.
Right. They're different from criminal scum like Kamoshida and Madarame, who acted only for their own benefit.
Okay, but how does a handful of not-so-evil monarchs prove there's a mastermind behind all this?
The fact that jails are fundamentally different from palaces provides us a big clue. For starters, jails don't have any treasures for the taking. All we found are people's stolen desires. That means monarchs don't have twisted enough wills to reshape reality and form treasures.
Which would mean that jails aren't created by the monarchs themselves. Someone else must be doing the creating.
Our final clue is the locks on all those bird cages. In order to get to the monarch, we've always had to unlock a door that denies us passage. I had thought this was just a security measure designed to protect the monarch and the desires held within. But if that were the case, why would traumatic memories the monarch would rather erase be the key to unlocking it?
Given that these are cognitive worlds, maybe it means monarchs think their trauma will protect them.
I find that rather odd. If anything, I would think it's the other way around.
Correct. What if it is the other way around? Why might a door like that exist? No, it's nastier than that. What if that door isn't to keep intruders out, but to trap monarchs in?
You mean they're trapped?
I thought the monarchs are the ones in charge.
Think about it. What would happen if a monarch tried leaving their cage?
They'd touch the door, and then hear the voices of their trauma?
Exactly. They'll remember what made them so warped in the first place, and stick to their guns as a monarch. And thus, the cycle continues unbroken. The monarchs really are birds in a cage.
From that perspective, the shadows protecting the keys inside the trauma cell hold a far more sinister purpose. They aren't there to prevent the monarch's trauma from being discovered. They're wardens guarding an elaborate system to ensure the monarch's imprisonment.
Let me get this straight. You're basically saying these monarchs are being manipulated, and by virtue of that, there's somebody doing the manipulating.
How's Hyodo-san's smartphone looking?
Nothing wrong with her phone or the Emma installed, but I did find traces of surveillance. Huh, I'll bet it's the same snooper we keep running into, though I'm lost as to who it might be.
So this observer and our mastermind may just be one and the same. Anyone have any guesses?
Our first suspect is Medis, the company in charge of Emma. Since you can't get into jails without Emma, I can't write it off as mere coincidence.
Medis, huh? Too bad we can't just storm their headquarters.
You mean the cops can't actually do that?
Of course not. How could we even put out a warrant on them? By saying they go around turning people into monarchs?
You have a call from Ichinose.
Hi there! Sorry for the relative lapse in communication, but I did turn up some info that I thought you guys might like to know.
So again, a quick recap, right? Ichinose is the original creator of Emma, who basically sold it to this company called Medis.
So I've been looking into Emma all this time, and I still have yet to find any differences between her past and present versions. I mean, this is state-of-the-art tech, not something just anybody could pry open and take a look inside. But then I took a peek at Emma's changelog, and that's where things got interesting. It seems Emma was transported to Okinawa at some point after I sold her to Medis. Yes, exactly. Why was the first thing that popped into my head. So I dug around some more. And I found that off the coast of Okinawa, on the island of Kokojima, Medis apparently has a research lab. Oddly enough, its existence is unknown to the public, and when I called to ask for records, nothing came up. Basically, they're running a secret research lab. How crazy is that? So, if Emma's been altered in any way, I would think it had to have been done on that island. Well, guys, wasn't I a super stellar source of information? You just leave it to me. I've become rather fond of investigating, actually. Well, guess it's bye for now, Phantom Thieves. Please regale me with tales of your adventure another time.
So what did Ichinose-san say? Okinawa? Crystal clear waters?
Shisa statues? Juicy pineapples?
Sounds like it's the next spot that they're going to be visiting.
Suko cookies?
Sugar cane.
Oh, that too! It's that ramen-like thing, yeah?
This dude and ramen is like, it's ridiculous.
Guys, can you snap out of it?
If it's an unregistered facility, we could always say we're conducting a field survey. That way we could ensure their cooperation. We may even find proper evidence that could be used in court. But Kokojima is a bit far from the Okinawa mainland. And I guess we'd have to go by plane.
Wait, what about our precious feathermobile? We've taken it all this way.
That's what you're naming this thing?
Plus, you said it'd be dangerous using public transportation.
Even so, wouldn't it be too complicated to try to reach Okinawa by car?
Give me a sec. Hey, what's up? Yeah, of course I'm aware, but I also have a job to do, you know?
Who's he talking to?
Why would I lie? I'm being honest, I swear. Of course I remember. The thing is, I'm a little... well... Oh.
You got hung up on.
Okay, guys. Plane's a no-go. We're driving.
Huh?
You mean we're going all the way to Okinawa by car?
The thing is, I need to make a stop along the way. So we'll be heading to Kyoto first.
Did you say Kyoto?
Yeah, I primarily work for the Kyoto Police Department. I thought I'd take a moment to catch up, share intel. You know, after that, we head to Kobe. We can take a direct ferry to Okinawa from there. That ought to cut down on time.
That's still quite a distance, even to Kyoto.
Not to worry, I'll do the driving.
You're tagging along?
Ramps.
Wait, am I to believe that Nijima's been doing all the driving? Okumura, I thought you already had your license.
I do have it. It's just I don't have much experience behind the wheel.
Plus, Haru's driving is not exactly.
Well, in any case, we're taking off immediately.
If we're leaving from here, you'll need to take the Hokuriku Expressway. The estimated travel time will be...
About 21 hours, give or take.
Gramps is correct.
21 hours? Are you nuts?
That is quite the long drive indeed.
Officer of the law? We're badass at driving.
What's with him all of a sudden? It's like you lit a fire under his ass.
Fine by me, so long as I can visit Kyoto at last.
There goes Inari, revealing his true colors.
All right then, let's hit the road. I'll get you rascals there in record time.
Alright, well, it looks like the crew is now going to be headed to Okinawa. And all that's left to do is go back to the van and continue. Now, this is also, an opportunity for us to finish unfinished things. Now, like I said earlier, we finished just about all we can do on the request side of things. The only other thing we can try to do at this point is to maybe try to find some of our phantom thieves, just like how we talked to Futaba earlier, and see if we can, get some free items or, get stuff that would otherwise be missable that we can't really come back and get. So like I said earlier, we've already talked to Futaba. And there's Haru. See, there you go, stuff like this.
Good evening.
Salvia Charm. So again, these are absolutely missable things, if you rush through the story. And so, what did we just get? Get some kind of accessory. No forget. So, I mean, not necessarily something we can use right now, but it's certainly good to have as an asset for the future. I think Haru and Futaba are just about the only ones we can access on this map. Let's move on to North Tsushino and let's see what Makoto and Anne are up to. I didn't know Makoto was scared of ghosts.
What? How may I help you?
Let's go ahead and get some SP items while we can.
Here you are.
And honestly, pretty much anything in general that we can snag. Yeah, I do not discriminate when it comes to items nowadays. You just kind of, get what you can while it's available.
Welcome. Is that all you need? It's all yours. But that's what you like. Thank you. Is that all you need? It's all yours. Thank you.
Yo,
indeed.
Not sure why I can't talk to Yusuke. And of course, here's the entrance to the Velvet Room if you need to go. We are looking okay from a persona standpoint. So at this point, we've talked to just about all the party members. And with that, we are actually at an end to today's live stream. And so, again, just a quick recap. So we are all done now with Sapporo. We're not going to be going back anytime soon. And it looks like the crew is now headed to Okinawa. But before they even go there, it sounds like we're going to be headed to Kyoto first. My theory is there's probably going to be another jail in Kyoto that we have to, clear before we get to Okinawa. Just like how we had to do that for Sendai before we got to Sapporo. So that makes absolute sense if we need to do that. And I don't think from a leveling perspective, we're not going to be spending any more time grinding either. I think everyone's at, a decent level. And this is me without looking at any strategy guides of any sort. Just kind of playing off the wire here. And so, yeah, I think we're looking okay. And so, I'm not sure if this is like my 40th save, as it usually is, but there I go yet again, saving. Anyway, thanks for tuning in today, and we'll see you in the next episode of the live stream. Later.